Thank goodness I didn't schedule any hikes. There's no place to park
Oh, relative to over the.
Yeah, that's a good point.
on any of our land.
Anywhere.
Oh, no.
I haven't been down to, the,
Barry?
Berry Falls Dam. I imagine they plowed that parking lot, but
Well, and also the walking wasn't very conducive.
Unless you did.
Steph and I went for a few hikes on it, and it was terrible. I mean, because
Yeah.
you could, sometimes it was hard enough so you could walk on it, and then the next step you'd break through, and the next step you'd walk.
And then you go like 5 steps without breaking through, and then all of a sudden.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Even with snowshoes, we were breaking through.
Yeah.
So,
I have a question, should I be taking notes?
yeah,
You could have the
I mean,
night
if there's
off.
anything of note, if there's anything of note, you can note it.
Well, you don't have to do minutes of this.
no.
Yeah, yeah, no.
So any future thoughts on,
Well, I'll plan something as soon as we have places to park.
okay, sounds good. I'll just skip the land priority. We had a meeting, but we have work going on that. The OSRP, I can comment that Mark has made some good progress towards getting it all finalized, and he had more to it in finalizing it, and that's why he wanted a spot on the agenda to talk about the work that he had done. But he's prepared to get the final, okay, yep, this is good, so that would require a vote to approve the final plan. So that was another reason. Oh, and he said, relative to this type of meeting, he said he didn't quite finish all he wanted to get done for the meeting anyway, so he wouldn't have been prepared to bring it forward for finalization. So, but he has made progress with the different groups or whatever that were left as far as the open items in it. One thing that was on this agenda, just relative to the Eagle Scout project, you can't maybe make opinions on which one you think would be better or not, but we could at least talk about different things. So I did get a response finally from Maddie, and her project was, I guess, a little ill-defined, but it was a boardwalk off to the side, all right? So that being said, but she didn't say where or whatnot. Are there any other topics, ideas for an Eagle Scout project in the event that we think that something would be better? So we don't have to vote on what is better or promote an opinion. Do we have any other topics?
I think there's been some talk, once we get the all persons trail built, to have some interpretive signage, either little signs on trees identifying the species, or I was
What do you
thinking
call
of-
that kind of a trail, an educational trail or something?
Yeah, or interpretive trail.
Interpretive
is the
trail.
word I've seen.
If the trail isn't gonna be done by fall, I think she wants to be done with her project
Right.
before then, so.
What was that?
She wants to have her project, Eagle Scout project, done before we'll have the trail done.
So that wouldn't work
The
for her.
signage could be done though.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
unless they
yeah,
take
does
down
anybody
some
know
of the
what
trees,
the
then.
timetable is on the Eagle Scout projects?
Before
Well, it needs,
fall.
yeah, it needs to be done before fall, cause an Eagle Scout has to complete their project before they turn 18.
Really?
And the requirements of an Eagle Scout project, does anybody, I meant to look that up, but I didn't.
I
It has
know.
to help, it has to be helping the community.
Yeah.
Right, it should involve them exercising leadership, that's one of the key
Oh, she has a
factors.
crew that's gonna help her, and that kind of dovetails with
That's
that.
usually the way that works,
Right.
yep.
But guys, why are we searching, well, alternatives, but she wants to fix the problems that are there.
Well,
That's
we're
what
trying
I'm-
to be generic here and not deliberate on a specific thing.
Oh, I guess I didn't have my hearing aids wide on. sorry, I really didn't, I don't get it, okay,
So anything else besides, yeah, that interpreted, so the timing on that is still possible, isn't it?
Oh, so
It'd
you
be
could do
tight.
signs ahead of time and just,
Because they were gonna
Hammered
start,
into the thing the day
I
of.
think
Yeah.
the trail thing was gonna start in May, as soon as
Yeah, but
things
it
were.
wouldn't be done till the end of summer, Mark said.
so that would be the same boat.
Oh, but as
It
far as.
wouldn't have
an-
to be on the new trail.
No, it wouldn't have to.
No, but.
That's
But it'd be nice if it
No, but-
was, cause that would
Let me.
enhance that.
But, you know what the trail is, and the route is defined. The fact that the surface isn't finished, all the vegetation is still gonna be there, right?
Well, I don't know, is it?
Well, almost all
They're
of
gonna-
it.
They're gonna do this all by hand, or
the route
might
is
there be a
cleared.
machine in there?
What?
I said, they're gonna do this all by hand, or might there be a machine in there? Oops. I,
Do we wanna take the project?
Yeah, but what's the point of that, Tim? I mean,
All the
the trail is
vegetation-
cleared, and they're gonna do work.
There might be a tree or two that they may have to hit, they
Yeah.
may have to remove because of the root structures in the way, it's just, it's
Yeah,
hard
but
to
that
tell
would be
exactly.
relatively minor compared to the overall, trail.
you could certainly plan one, but you might have to change some of the plans after it's built.
Or
But
maybe
which-
move some of the signs.
Yeah,
And,
But we're also talking about something that we don't even know if anybody's interested in doing.
oh, no, but I mean,
Right.
just relative to having it, be feasible,
Option.
I mean, you could identify the vegetation off to the side of the, trail that's there. And would it be, the full length of that trail, or
could be, wouldn't have
whatever
to
we
be.
want?
Yeah.
Most of the ones I've seen have been pretty short.
Speaking of this all-access trail, have we been notified one way or the other whether that's, funding is still available for that?
Oh, because of all the,
Elon,
Was that in place, wasn't it already in place?
that's state money.
no.
Well, the CPA
it's-
money is there, 10 grand.
Yeah,
I'm not sure which is, one of the projects was state and one was, federal. And I don't remember which Mark said the beacons were, whether that was state money or federal.
well, the state money comes from federal, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Well, if it's already been allocated.
It doesn't, there are projects, according to the news, that contracts had already been signed, money had already been spent, and
And they're not getting it, yeah,
the
I've
federal
heard about
government's
that.
pulling out.
Well, we don't know, so we
Right.
don't have facts on that, so.
But getting back to, the bog bridge, do we wanna take the project out of her hands?
That's what she wants to
She did the
do.
research, she planned it, she's put
She's-
together what she wants to do, how she's gonna fund it, how the labor's gonna work, et cetera. To suggest to her that we'd like you to do something else, I don't know, is,
Well, I don't think we should be talking about a specific project, or a specific
Yeah, now you're getting
scout.
into pros and cons and opinions on what is the right thing to do, so I think we need to put that off. It was just if we had, other ideas that, I could propose that she contemplate and whatnot, but anything else other than that interpretive trail?
Which needs to be done, or doesn't need to be done, but it would be nice if it was done with that, so, it is an option, right?
Yeah, picnic tables are needed.
Yeah, that's right, that would be a great
Nice
project.
picnic table, well, it doesn't have to be nice, but just, it has to be picnic table. They're falling apart pretty fast
Mark has picnic tables in the budget.
for that trail, but we have, picnic tables could be used over at
Oh,
Mount Jeff. That picnic table has been repaired, but, another one,
Are there still two there though? Yeah, not Jeff?
I think it is one
Just
now.
one.
What
And it-
happened to the other one? It just fell apart?
Yeah.
Joe might have taken
Oh.
it to repair it.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, cause
Neighbor Joe.
he did,
Yeah.
yeah, Joe repaired.
Cataldo.
He told me he wanted to repair.
He did repair the one that's there, he repaired and he
Maybe-
redid the plaque.
Oh, it did, okay. Maybe he's doing the other one, I don't know.
Yeah.
Haven't talked to him lately.
I saw he and his wife up there, just before that ride in October,
Ah,
and they were talking about the picnic table, how he
Hmm.
had taken it and repaired it.
That's
It's
nice.
nice, yeah. But anyways, picnic tables is benches.
Mentions horseshoe pits.
where would we get horseshoes?
I don't, I can't imagine. Where can we find a source for that? Okay.
All right, well, is-
Signage, some kind of signage for some of the other town open space, like Doherty Lane. I don't think there's a sign that tells somebody driving by,
That
this
it's
is where
even
you
there.
enter the property.
Yeah.
Right?
Is that a hiking trail?
Not yet.
Not yet, no.
No, but
Yeah,
still,
will be hopefully.
Have you been out there then?
nope.
Oh, it's very pretty. I mean, it has eskers. That's where I learned the word esker.
There's a, I just found out, on New Templeton Road, there's a pretty good sized chunk of town-owned land, according to the tax map, just north of Cross Road. You know, they're putting in a new house on the west side of the road, and then, this is just less than a quarter mile from Cross Road, going north towards Templeton. And the road goes across like a causeway, and it's wetlands on both sides. Every time I go through there, I'm looking for moose, haven't seen any yet. But the right-hand side is all town-owned land, according to the
Really?
GIS maps, yeah.
Hmm.
Mostly swamp, but
That's why.
that's why, yeah. But you know, with those, someday, with those what do you call them, helical piers?
Yep,
Maybe someday there'd be, have the potential to put a walkway through there.
you don't even, for most of the things like that, you don't even need helical piers, you can use a pan.
Oh,
There's a, Tom Bradco put a thing across over at Dwelly using pans there's a company out in, Michigan, the company's called Manufacturing something. It's literally a square thing, and it's like a square walk, if you would, if you wanna call it
Mhm.
that, but it's made out of heavy steel, and then it's got a thing in the middle for a 6x6.
and it floats
You
on the
just
muck.
put it down onto the muck and
Hmm,
it sits there.
neat.
How did they
Yeah.
get that out there, or is it?
What's that?
How did they transport it to the spot?
You have to walk through the muck.
Well,
Piece
but I
by
mean, was
piece.
it like on a flatbed, or what? Is it not that big?
Not that
Piece
big.
we're talking
Yeah,
about?
you bring a bunch of.
No, they're
pieces
literally
out.
about this big, and that's big
And you
enough
put it
to
together.
get enough
Oh.
support.
We should go look at that.
And it, right at
Dwelly.
Dwelly, if you walk across, there's one stretch that's probably 80 feet, where he put concatenated sections in, so the sections were only 8 feet long and put in some, but at any rate.
Is that
I
a
remember,
Dwelly?
I remember,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
some water utility laying a water main across a river or a pond, and they laid it on top of the ice in winter.
Hmm.
And then when the ice melted, pipe just sank to the bottom, and there was their pipe.
Oh.
It's still working.
You know, I guess it still worked.
Um,
So you could move these pans out on the ice and just wait for spring.
That'd be interesting.
Let's see, other projects?
Well, yeah, another project would be an adaptation of what she has done, but then you get into pros and cons
Mhm.
and stuff like that, so I won't do that, but that's a possibility too.
One thing I'd like to see with any scout project or volunteer project is for people to come to us and ask us for a list or something, and then work with us a little bit to develop a proposal, rather than coming to us with a finished proposal
Well,
and
I
us
think
having
that's
to
the way it
vote
ought to be.
yea or nay.
And then, like in conjunction with my comment, I mean, I'd like to see some work done on the trails too, but I mean, maybe not just exactly the way it's done, but that's.
Yeah.
All right.
It's more or less, Hunter kinda did it that way. He had in his mind what he wanted to do, but then he came in and asked for
Oh, yeah, he
ideas.
took a
Is
lot
that
of
some-
input, yeah, there was a lot of back and forth on that before that all went down. There was a lot of back and forth on, the.
Destiny?
The
Destiny's Garden?
Destiny's Garden, yeah, there was a lot of back and forth on the Destiny's Garden approach. And, but that gets into deliberation and stuff like that, so we need to, wait for another meeting. Let's see, where are we? We're at the end of February.
It's 3/27 is the last Thursday.
Maybe we can schedule a meeting early.
Earlier in March?
Early in March, instead of waiting until the end of the March, so to give more time to, get that done.
That'd be good for me, cause I can't make it on the 27th.
Okay. All right, I think I'll hold out, I don't think we're gonna get much further talking about anything else there. Let's talk about, the sand pits. As a minimum, we can state that it's a environmentally sensitive area, that's aquifers underneath it and stuff like that. So we talk about factual pieces of that thing. There's a little tiny bit of state forest up at the far corner, up closest to the Gardner line. There's a rare species of some sort up in that area. Maybe Tim or somebody else here would have an answer. So in Mass Mapper, it identified it as, I don't know what their coding was, like some abbreviated letters, an abbreviation, and then a number. But I tried to find out and I would assume that would identify the species that was there. I don't know. Do you know anything about that?
I don't know specifically, but it probably does, but that's probably kept, closely guarded information somewhere in Boston.
Oh, because they don't want people going and looking
Trying
at
to
the
collect it,
species.
yeah.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, you're so
Oh, 'cause I tried to find out, and I couldn't find anything.
It's,
Oh.
the NH is natural heritage. That's what it starts with, is natural heritage something, I can't remember the other letters.
Ah.
But, yeah, they usually don't want everybody to know what the endangered species is.
That's like the same thing with old forests or something.
Yeah.
Old growth forests, they're around, but they won't tell you exactly where they are.
Well, I
Okay, so
guess
that
if
was
it's-
deliberate.
If it's an aquifer, the endangered species might be people.
Oh,
At any rate, so I did talk to Nate, and we have a spot on the proposal review team, so that was no issue. Anybody interested in being on that team? My-
So what do you mean by a proposal review team?
Well, the proposal is, it's a planning proposal. So it's not an implementation proposal, it's a planning proposal that would lay the groundwork to go out for a quote to saying, this is what the plan looks like, this is what we think should be there. And then that would in turn be used, what would go out to, just like what we ended up with for the trail. So the trail, we had identified, it's gonna be this long, this location, follow this approximate route, this wide, this kind of a surface and stuff like that, and provide quotes to implement it. And so the plan, there's quite a bit of thought that needs to go into developing a plan for this. And so it's quite a bit of money, and there's a grant to do that. But we can define, the town can define a lot of the elements that need to be incorporated in this plan. you know, like, open space or whatever, trails or buildings or whatever. There's a lot of different elements that go into it. And the plan will have a lot to say about, how it's going to be implemented, not the specific details, but, so.
When is that gonna happen, do we know?
Yeah, that's gonna happen in, early March, which is not too far away.
Next couple
I
of
didn't
weeks.
get, I don't remember the exact date, but, it's, I think the quotes will be submitted and ready for review, maybe the first week in March.
These are quotes from landscape architects or whoever was gonna make a proposal?
It's from organizations that, their expertise is putting together a plan.
So-
Of this nature, obviously, so.
So the specifications for the plan have already been completed
Yeah.
and sent out.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're not
But that
being
would-
part
but that
of
would
the
be
board to
just-
come up with the specifications, you're being part of a team that's just coming up with now who you're gonna pick that.
Yeah,
wanna be-
I think that's the way I understand it. Although I could, there might be an opportunity to have input into the plan. I should have clarified that. But, I mean, into the quote for the plan, to show the elements that had to be incorporated or covered.
What other representations are he on that committee from the town? What other areas are they drawing from for input? What other, committees?
Organizations?
Yeah, like Nate,
Definitely
obviously.
the planning board, I'm sure.
Concom, I would guess. Yes.
Concom would be part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, from the way Nate talked, I think they're gonna be a pretty good-sized group. A lot of the organizations in, town, I don't know if there's anything of any historical value up there, but definitely Concom, the planning board, probably, we have for finance boards. The finance board would definitely be part of it, because that affects, income to the town and whatnot.
Board of Health?
Oh, yeah.
Should be.
Do we have a new person on the Board of Health now? I know Kathy Hansgate was sort of retiring, or a new person leading it. I don't know. I mean, she's served for so long, and she's tried to cut back a little, so. That's an important, I hadn't realized how important that position is, really.
All right, well, I don't think there's any, issue. I can ask, there's nothing wrong with asking Mike or Mark if they're interested, and then I guess, if they don't get any response, then I'll take a shot at that. So, it's a busy time for Bob right about now. We're selling that, our property in, Bolton, so.
Oh, are you?
You just went through a
Yeah.
significant stretch with all kinds of things going on. All right, that takes care of that. And any other new business? Any other business that somebody just wants to bring up from a rhetorical
Without an opinion about it.
No, we want facts.
How's Lassie?
She's got a huge amount of energy sometimes.
Sometimes.
One of the books refers to it as the zoomies.
Oh, yeah, that's so cute when they just.
Oh, they just.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah,
How old is she?
13 weeks.
Jeez.
Oh, I-
Such a
I thought you were gonna
funny
say
age.
13 months. 13 weeks.
Oh, I saw your note on the bobolinks thing too, but I think what I sent you
Yeah,
just relative to limitations, it had to be
20 acres.
Size.
20
Yeah, I
acres or
missed
more.
that.
Yeah.
And none of those parcels,
You were gonna bring the, snow bunnies.
Oh, there was a nice little article about snow buntings in the Berry Gazette, you probably saw it too, Eleanor Downers
I
into
missed it.
birds. So I'll just put it in your mailbox or
Okay,
something,
yeah.
because it was just, it's neat to.
Yeah,
listen.
I'd love
I
to read
hear
it.
you're really into birds these days, I mean, you always are.
Now that I can hear, I had my hearing fixed, so I can
Yeah.
hear birds,
oh,
and it's
yeah.
like trying
Yeah,
to
it's like a
identify
whole
them and
new
having
world.
that
Oh, she-
app so you
yeah.
can listen, it's like, oh, wow.
Well, the other morning, she could hear sounds outside the house, and there were two pileators.
You could see them both right from the window, that was cool.
They were about
They belong in the jungle.
they were
Does
about
it sound
100
like a
feet apart,
jungle
in
call?
two different oak trees or something.
You know where East Street is in Petersham?
Yeah, we drove
yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
On Sunday morning, there were, I think I counted 11 cars parked on the side of the road. There's some bird that normally only is seen on the west coast somewhere.
Yeah, I heard
What
about
bird is
that.
That was
What
over
is it?
there.
What is it?
Is that a
can't
type of
remember the
hawk
name
or
of it,
something,
though.
like a,
It wasn't a hawk.
or an
It
eagle?
might be related to hawks, but the name didn't have hawk in
And
Like
it been
a
cited there,
raptor?
so people were.
it. So
trying-
there were Connecticut, New Hampshire license plates.
Really? Interesting.
People standing there right in front of this house with their, big telescope lenses and stuff.
Oh,
Didn't-
I don't know whether how the people in the
Did you
house.
hear about it from like a newspaper article, or did you stop and ask?
No, we didn't stop and ask. I guess maybe Jesse Buell mentioned it at church. I'm not sure. I think that's how I heard about it. But we drove by, we didn't know what it was, but then later somebody told me.
It's Buell, the historian guy, Buell, B-U-E-L-L?
Yeah, more of an ecologist.
Oh, okay. University of the Wild
Yeah,
or something,
yeah, that's him.
Wow.
He's getting up there though, isn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he's like 6'4".
No, I meant Nate.
He's not that old.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I got the impression that, oh, me,
He's
okay, but
probably
anyway.
middle-aged,
Yeah.
60 to 80, somewhere in there.
Okay, everything's relative.
Did you say 60-80?
Huh?
Did you say 60-80?
60 to 80, middle-aged,
It's-
right.
Yeah.
He doesn't look that old to me.
Oh, jeez. All right, I'm looking. Yes, Bob.
Well, it's the 27th, it's Thursday.
We're gonna have
But
it.
that doesn't
No,
work.
we're gonna have it earlier. So let's,
Right, so
if-
we're moving back, what, 2 weeks?
well back. I think we should have it,
Second week?
as early in March as
Like in a couple weeks?
we could have it, this next Thursday.
That's the 6th, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why does it
We
say
could
Good.
have
so?
it,
You know this.
Because, because I have a luncheon. We finally
It's
found a
okay,
date.
That's definitely understandable.
we have meetings on both of those. I think we could have it on a non-Thursday. I have, on the 6th, we have a meeting, Steph and I have a meeting, and then
What about the next?
on the 13th, we also have a meeting.
Hmm.
Those are the next 2 Thursdays. Another day good for anybody?
I could do any evening that week of the 3rd.
Would you say the week of the 3rd?
Yeah.
Beginning the
Before
3rd.
before the 6th, like 3rd, 4th, or 5th. Or the next week I could do.
That's next week then.
Yeah.
Next week or the week after.
Well, that's right, we probably can't do the 3rd now because of the 48-hour notice, right?
Right.
So the next week would
So,
be the one
well,
to
so it would be the
target.
4th or the 5th or the 11th, 12th.
How's the 4th or the 5th? Those work? Just give me choices relative to having a place to hold it when I talk to folks. Does the 4th?
Oh, that's right. Gosh,
Does the 4th or 5th work for everybody here?
Yep.
Yeah, that's
I
Tuesday
think I can
or
make it.
Your
Wednesday.
thing
Make
with
it a
Karen
ride?
is canceled for the 4th. You were
With
gonna take.
Karen, yes, yeah.
Yeah, it works for me.
All right.
So evening,
I'll
of
check
either
with the town
next
to see which
Tuesday or
one of those-
Wednesday is what we're.
What's that?
Either of Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yep.
Everybody's okay with that?
Yeah.
And Mike and Mark, well,
All right, we're done.